I'm Robin Perelle. I'm the managing editor of Xtra newspaper here in Vancouver, and this is
Raziel, Reid, a big party slut.
So what was your favorite video moment of the year?
My favorite video moment of the year was definitely Anne Rice.
I love to play with transcending gender, and I love to play with the idea that strong and powerful characters don't care about gender.
Right.
That love transcends gender completely. And I don't even have to think about it when I start writing a book. It's just going to happen.
I was nervous as hell, and we were still setting up. The videographers were still setting up when she came down at the Metropolitan Hotel. She comes down, and they needed like another 10 minutes to set up. And so I can just see them like freaking out, rushing to get it done. And she sits down and she's like looking at her nails, sighing, rolling her eyes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this interview is over before it started. And so then I had to try to entertain her as they're setting up. But I didn't know what to ask her because all the questions I wanted to ask her on film.
So what did you say?
Well, I just started talking about my favorite scene in one of her books, which is The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty, when the prince fucks another prince up the ass while he's kissing Sleeping Beauty. And I said that to her. I'm like, you know, I really love that scene, and it's embedded in my mind forever. And she kind of just looks at me and like gives me like this blank stare for a second. I thought, oh God, now I've really fucked this up. And then she cracks up laughing.
Nice one.
And we spend the next 10 minutes talking about anal sex. So Anne Rice is my kind of gal.
Well, that sounds awesome, but I thought you were going to say Boy George.
Well, Boy George was up there too. I remember you said once that you came out when you were 15 years old. That's very young. Did you ever feel any shame about your sexuality?
In a strange sort of way, you know, when I was a really young kid, I never thought being gay was wrong.
Is that because you were such a big Bowie fan and he was sort of
I don't think it was because I knew I was gay long before Bowie, you know. He just confirmed it. I was like, oh, that's okay.
He just has really deep, evocative eyes. That's what I remember the most. It's like looking into his green eyes and just sort of falling into them the entire time. But I really felt connected to him as we were talking, like we were just the only two people in the room.
What was your next favorite video?
Oh, those cute little lesbians that are almost as tall as you. Tegan and Sarah.
You know, I think one of the big things that I've learned from this record is the pop world is a lot friendlier than any genre or world we've been a part of. I think there's just a bigger pie, and everybody's not as concerned about sharing it, you know? And I don't think when you're Taylor Swift, you're like worried that we're gonna like...
be competition.
No, and it's not in a negative way. Like, I don't think that there aren't people who are competing with each other, but Taylor's like, she just like genuinely was a fan, and the idea of sort of saying like, I want you to come on stage and we're gonna perform your song and I'm gonna give you props in front of my audience. It's such a generous thing to do, and it was so fun.
Unfortunately, I had like some impertinent questions that I wanted to ask. Like, I really wanted to know if she's ever had a threesome with her sister. But you can't just start off an interview asking like, hey, do you fuck with your sister? Like, that doesn't go over well usually. So I was planning on asking that later. But unfortunately, because we only had 5 minutes, I was too afraid. What was your favorite video memory of the past year?
Well, we had a really good year. I liked making the Pride video with you. You bring the glitter to my pride. You really do. It's so much more fun.
I need to be blessed. There we are!
I think my greatest privilege of the year in terms of storytelling was telling Kelly Worrell's story.
If I were to transition back, I would have to go back to this time where I'm repressing who I am. And I'm not. I have no desire at all to repress who I am again.
What's your name?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm Kelly, but I'm also John.
She's the woman who transitioned to come out fully and present fully as female, and then transitioned again 2 years later because the costs of coming out were so harsh. The courage to come out was absolutely still present, but the costs had taken their toll. And so she made a new choice to transition again and present as male. But as I asked her, does this make you any less trans? And she said, no, of course not. Her core is her core.
Well, it looks like we had a great year, didn't we?
I think we did.
Yeah. 2014. What are we going to get in 2014? How are we going to top this? Madonna, is she coming?
I hope so.
What do we have to do to get Madonna, honestly? Madonna.
Madonna, we both want to.
Me.
We'll do you together.
Yeah. I'd rather do you alone.